So, I might be a little late to the party with this one, but did anyone know that 2K20 is a bad game? Oh, well, since you're here, do you want to know why I think
No one wants to hear you talk about a shitty wrestling game, you daft receding hairline prick.
Right, come here, you little shit!
Wait, oh no.
I'ma get the hammer this time!
Oh god, please no.
WWE 2K20, for lack of a better term, is an absolute broken mess of a game with so many horrifying glitches and bugs that I wouldn't be surprised if Bray Wyatt started projecting it onto the ring. The current gen wrestling games over the last couple of years have never been the most, polished games to say the least, but fuck me, this game. This game! How was it released in this state? I refuse to believe any of the developers from 2K sat down and played this game for longer than 2 seconds. There is no fucking way that someone saw this and thought, yeah, that's good enough to sell at a £50 price tag. The first match I played of this game was Ciampa vs Adam Cole for the NXT Championship, which started with Greg Hamilton having apparent mic issues.
The following contest and is for the
Then Ciampa tried to either hug or meld furiously into Bobby Fish, I still can't really decide to be honest, which was then followed by the championship introduction, where Greg Hamilton apparently forgot how much Ciampa weighed and just made a rough guess.
weighing in at 1 pound.
And then the cameraman definitely fell asleep during Adam Cole's introduction.
And introducing the champion from Panama City, Florida.
What am I even supposed to be looking at here? And it's at this point I would like to remind everyone watching this was my very first match. I genuinely can't wrap my head around how anyone in their right mind thought this wasn't going to be an absolute train wreck. I mean, just fucking look at it. Look at it! Just purely on a presentation level, the game looks like it's had a stroke. I mean, let's just take a look at some of the models for wrestlers here. Bret Hart's face is about 4 inches too small for his actual head. Oh, nice to see they've got the Renegade in this year's game. That's supposed to be Randy Savage! They have done Steamboat dirty with that haircut, man. Fucking Andre! Oh no! Oh, just look at him! Look at his fucking eyes! Pfft, nice hair, Gulak, you fucking loser. Wait a minute. I mean, this is a pretty accurate representation of Lars, to be honest. I swear someone just added their mum into this game and claimed it was supposed to be Molly Holly. I see nothing wrong here. Just didn't know Angelo Dawkins was an amputee. Blink Peyton. Please, for the love of God, blink. Apparently, they just like making Tyler look like he's in his mid-40s with a mortgage and mild depression. You know what? Same, Mojo. No! Oh, Brian, what have they done to you, my man? Mark Andrews' forehead is bigger than my life expectancy. Oh, come on! Becky's on the cover of your game, lads! And you've made her look like this! That fringe needs its own postcode! Which is rich coming from me, but still! Alright, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh. Maybe these models will look better in the game, you know, being in motion with all the lighting and whatnot. Well, she looks somehow even worse. The game astonishingly looks worse than practically every other 2K game, which is oddly impressive. Clothing and championship belts clip through everything, hair takes on a mind of its own trying to escape from the wrestlers' heads, and characters look so overexposed during their entrances with lighting more unrealistic than my life goals. I'll reach that 500 subscriber mark eventually. Plus, this just annoyed me specifically, but they've got some weird sound effects in.
I hate agreeing with this.
Why did they put a stock scream effect in for a backflip? Now, before I talk about the gammon play, I should probably mention that by the time I got my grubby little hands on this game, 2K had already issued a response and announced a patch for the game. So I played the game firstly without the patch. Oh, you want me to update it, do you? Well, that's not going to happen. And then secondly with the patch, and surprise, it's still very much broken. Besides the numerous amounts of bugs, it's practically the exact same game as last year, just looking way more dead on the inside. Is it too late to call back Ukes? So in a bid to make the game not feel like an exact carbon copy, 2K decided to implement a new control scheme into this game, which is the most convoluted bullshit I have ever seen. Just to do a new finisher now, instead of just pressing triangle like last year, because for some reason that's fucking reversed now, you have to hold R2 and press square and X at the same time while you super kick a midget, recite the entire script to Spider-Man 3.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Do an essay on the fundamental laws of why Minecraft is better than Fortnite, and then you must pledge your undying loyalty to our Lord and Savior Vince McMahon, and after you've done all of that, you can then do a finish. Oh, for fuck's sake, you reversed it. There is absolutely no need to change the pre-existing controls, and it just comes across as 2K trying to justify calling this a new game in the laziest way possible. Although I will say one thing that's different about this game. it somehow plays much worse. Game-breaking glitches occur regularly, and for the first couple of hours I played this game, practically every match I played had some sort of glitch in it. For me trying to set a table on fire for it to just spontaneously start raining fire instead, talk about having heat, am I right? Okay, I'll see myself out. Aleister Black having his whole body blurred out. Ah, I see you've been given the Christian effect, good sir. Sasha trying to attack Becky during her entrance. Great job, Sasha. The ref just straight up refusing to count a pin.
So much for crowning a new champion tonight. Seth Rollins just changed.
Yeah, and you're on time, ref. I'm not going anywhere. And the steel steps either just sinking into the ring, which at its best look fucking dumb, and at its worst causes this. Oh, Jesus Christ. This couldn't have been play tested. Just look at it. Look at the ref, for God's sake! On top of all of this shit, basic stuff like trying to Irish whip in a specific direction, hit detection, and targeting feels so much worse as I spent a solid 6 hours fighting more with the air and ropes than I have my actual opponent. And the AI is, again, fucking dumb. The only other addition here are mixed tag matches, which are fine, I guess. And these new, unique arenas, that's fucking difficult to say. And these backstage environments, which, yeah, look cool. Just a shame you can't interact or do anything interesting in them. But hey, look on the bright side, at least you can play as some sick-looking horror-themed characters from the new 2K originals, which is sure to spice the game up a little, especially with you being able to play as the Fiend, which has been used heavily in 2K's marketing. Let me see what's here. Oh wait, everything's locked? I have to buy it. For £12. Right, I'm sorry, I've already spent £50 on the game that's effectively broken, and you now expect me to pay another £12 on top of that, just so I can unlock a couple different looking wrestlers and play a short showcase mode that is just as buggy as the rest of the game.
Wait, where has the Viper gone? Balor can't find him for the pin. There he is, from out of nowhere.
You know what? I don't need the Bump in the Night DLC to have scary looking monster wrestlers in my game. I can just create them myself. Isn't that right, Becky? Ma'am, where did your face go? My career also makes a return this year, and unbelievably, isn't good either. This year you play as two characters, Trey and Red, with the majority of the story taking place on the day they are both getting inducted into the Hall of Fame as they reflect on their journey as professional wrestlers, from starting out on the independents all the way to winning various titles within WWE, having a list of goals and accomplishments that they have set out to achieve since they were in high school. Now I will give a few positives first. The overall progression is quite a bit easier than last year, even if the progression tree is a pain in the ass to navigate through, but it does feel better and more rewarding to do, and you can actually reach a better overall than 69 this time. The story can also have really entertaining and quite unique moments in it, with some strong voice acting from Samoa Joe especially. Right, well that's it for the good, now time for the bad. Starting with, everything is still fucking locked! Wrist tape, hair shaving designs, veins, body hair, moves and everything in between is all locked behind a paywall of in-game currency. And if I didn't let it slide last year, I'm definitely not gonna let it go this year. Having moves locked is fine as it gives a sense of progression, I guess, but I just don't understand why they keep doing this for everything else. What's the point? It's a career mode where you should be able to create a character you want to create, but instead you have so many limited options, it just sucks any fun this game has right out of it. Okay, admittedly, you do have slightly more options to pick from when constructing the moveset. I'll take 3 of them, good sir. And for an entrance, everything is already unlocked to begin with, which is nice. But that still doesn't make it any less annoying having to save up shit tons of VC just to buy one cool move, or using the loot pack system where again, you can get the same shit you already have in it. The actual career mode itself is, well, it's something anyway. As you can probably tell by watching this, there's quite a few cutscenes in this, and they all look really, really ugly. Most created characters don't look great to begin with, and trust me, I've tried to at least make these guys look presentable. Clothing still has the same problems with phasing through everything, and the hair still looks like it's trying to have a rave. Camera angles are weirdly placed, and some angles are far too close up to the models. Ma'am, can you back away from the camera, please? I'm feeling claustrophobic. Background extras are emotionless cardboard cutouts that look terrible, and as we've established, because some models already don't look good in the game, they look 10 times worse when they pop up in a cutscene. Fucking blink painting! This is kind of a problem when about 40% of this career mode is solidly made out of cutscenes, with about 20% going to the actual gameplay and the last 40% going to you staring at a loading screen. This man is not my Velveteen dream. Presentation issues aside, you can at least look forward to a well put together story with some interesting characters and good writing.
I'm gonna take that marker, bring it to your grandmother's nursing home, and cross out parts of her chart so when the nurse goes to give her turn-down service, she won't know to flip her over. That's right, I'm gonna give your grandmother bed sores.
Or, you know,
What is
not have
wrong
any of that. First off, the two characters you play as are the worst. Trey is an idiot who's adopted, which is literally the only defining characteristics he has, and Red is a hothead, which is why her name's Red, because 2K are comedic geniuses. Although, it's still not as bad as Trey's name being Trey because he slipped on a tray.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Where was I? Oh yeah, Red's basically a very angry and manipulative bitch who, spoiler alert by the way, convinces Trey to become a professional wrestler based on a letter that Trey has from his actual birth parents, which says follow your dreams or some shit, I didn't really pay attention. This causes Trey to fall out with his adopted parents and not speak to them or see them for the next 20 years this career mode spans over, instead opting to try and find his real parents by, well, just hoping they randomly pop up at a show. Did I mention he's a bit of an idiot? But do you want to know the best part about all of that? See that letter I mentioned that makes Trey pursue his dreams of becoming a professional wrestler because, you know, he thinks it's from his actual birth parents? Yeah, well, his birth parents are actually dead, and the letter this whole time has been from Red, who decided to forge the letter after somehow overhearing about Trey's dead parents, instead of, you know, doing the logical thing and telling him! She legit doesn't tell him the truth for the whole course of their careers, and when it inevitably does come out, it's literally resolved within 15 seconds like this.
You're soz about the whole lying about your whole dead parents thing.
My life is a lie. But it's cool.
So wanna go beat up Samoa Joe now?
Yes.
Basically, 2K, you've done a great job of making me hate myself. The characters suck and do irrationally stupid things because why not? And other characters like Brooke, who's the main big bad bully in this career mode, are just as bad, with her being the most generic, evil for the sake of being evil character you could ever think of. The story isn't any better, as because it's told in this non-linear fashion, the second you win a title or accomplish something on the list, the story instantly just fast forward a couple of years into the future, so you don't have time to digest anything you've done, and most wins just feel meaningless and empty, especially when the game doesn't even let you win the matches half the time. The most annoying thing for me by far was the fact that so many matches end the same way. Get your opponent to orange or red health, and then a cutscene will decide if you win or lose. Now I know this happened in last year's game, but not nearly as frequently as it happens here. If you want any further proof of how bad this is, then there was an actual storyline where Trey debuts on Raw and wins the Universal title, and proceeds to lose every single match afterwards, with you being able to change the outcome of fucking 0 of them as they all end via cutscene. Actually, come to think of it, you never win a title as Trey, as every title match you have always ends via this cutscene bullshit where you can't change anything that happens in it. This happens so much that I ended up enjoying the optional matches more because I actually had the choice to play them and win. But hey, at least the last match you play doesn't end this way.
They tagged. It's over. Red and Trey have pulled off the impossible and ensured that they will forever be honored in the WWE Hall of Fame.
There are good story elements here, like I really enjoyed the Velveteen Dream storyline, even though it does suffer from these issues, but for as many good story elements, there's just as many bad ones, with possibly the worst I've seen being one at the end of the game, having Red and big bad generic villain Brooke fight over the fucking Divas title, which for anyone who's forgotten, looks like this, and it's brought back because Red wants to bring it back because it's on her list, but it just doesn't make sense and it's really fucking stupid and I just don't fucking care anymore. Combine all of that with how broken the game is, certainly makes for, an interesting time at least. Universe and Showcase mode are back, and funnily enough, exactly the same as last year. Universe mode has a couple different cutscenes, but it's still just as fucking repetitive, and Showcase mode is whatever, but because you have very specific objectives to do in this mode, and the game controls terribly, it results in you wanting to fall down a flight of stairs by the last match. I would say more about these modes, but I'm gonna be honest here. After going through all the career mode, I just really don't want to play this game anymore. Like, what more can I say? It's playable, which is probably the nicest thing I can say about it, but then again, I'm not sure on that front either. But overall, after playing this game for about 3 weeks straight, it's left me in the same state it's in. Fundamentally broken, uglier than usual, and desperately missing Ukes.